Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Detour Live. I'm your host, Dan Jones, joined as always by four-time National Road Champion Johnny Trevorrow, who's bunkered down at Nagambie. He's part of Regional Victoria, so he's not part of the record breakers. I think Melbourne's going to set the record next Thursday for most lockdown days, and it's not something that we wanted, but here we are. I don't want to start the show with a whinge. We're joined by the voice of cycling, Phil Liggett. Fellas, welcome back to the Detour. I'll start with you, Iffy. You must be up and about, mate. Nagambie, fresh air. You don't have the 5K race.
No, it's sensational. I went for a pedal this morning. Although I do have a complaint to make to the management of this park.
Hang on, mate. Just be thankful. I am stuck a 5K radius. I'm locked down in Melbourne. You're going to start with a complaint.
I am. Well, you had a whinge. I can have my whinge because it used to be Jerry, but Jerry sold the park, so I've got to deal with the new management. But I'm not a permanent resident here. I'm called a permanent. Has verbally attacked me a few times, but now today it was physical. Second time. He's black and white. He's a Magpie, but the bloody thing hit me again today. Got me on the way out of the park and on the way back in the park. He doesn't like me, this Magpie. Anyway, that was my whinge.
This sounds like a real stupid question, but are magpies native to Australia, Iffy?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. They're completely native. The magpies of Britain and Europe are a different bird.
They are.
Australian magpie is a completely different bird. It's more of closer to a parrot, really. It's a much bigger bird. Yeah.
Oh, with a beak like that, related to a parrot. Good heavens.
Yeah. Well, we've got a massive show, fellas. We're going to be talking to Teniel Campbell, who had a sensational victory. Iffy on stage 6. How do you pronounce the race? I'm no good with my pronunciation.
Well, I was looking it up when you started the show. So the Tour de la Orde.
De la Orde? How'd you get de la Orde out of that? I would have said de la...
No. C'est le Tour de l'Aude.
Tour de l'Aude.
Okay.
Bon.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even want to try, but I've joined the ring and completely botched it. But we'll be talking to her because they had a big incident. All the bikes got nicked before stage 5.
Well, I thought we'll wait that till we got with her and hear from her. But yeah, you're right. They had their bikes in a trailer, so all their bikes and spare bikes in this little trailer. And they thought it was safe, but it's been such a common occurrence of late. Of all the events virtually below the Grand Tours, it's been rife. They've been cutting through the roofs of the big buses, the big trucks. It's just ridiculous. So somehow there was a safety lock. They got rid of that, towed the trailer away. They found the trailer not that far away the next day, but no bikes. The bikes were all gone. But then the beautiful story is that all the opposing teams lent spare bikes to the riders so they could compete. And they got some more bikes down from the service course in Italy, but had to come a fair way. So for the next day, it was fantastic. Luckily, when Teniel won her stage, it was on a Bianchi. So sponsors were happy.
Yeah, that's a relief.
Wow. This is actually the Tour de l'Ardèche, I think.
L'Ardèche, that's it. Yeah.
You're going back a few years with the Tour de l'Aude, John, because that was a great race. And it was a women's race, but unfortunately it fell by the wayside. It's in a similar area. The Ardèche is a fabulous region of France.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about the COVID pandemic. It sounds like there's a pandemic of theft, Phil, in Europe because, the sheriff had his bag stolen. I had all my camera kit the last race I did nicked from the Vuelta. But, mate, what's going on over there?
Those stalking cyclists on stage races seems to be a very lucrative business. It happens every year. Somebody gets the bike nicked. Because, normally in these big hotels, you see the mechanics' wagons literally backed up like the Rhino stand, back to back all the way. So you can't possibly open the rear doors of the trucks to get into the bikes department. Or you find a big solid wall to back the van against so they cannot get in any other way than through the driving cab. Because
but then they've been going in through the roof. That's one of the tricks they've been doing. They cut it like a can opener. Yeah. Unbelievable.
No, it is. It's a lucrative business, and it's a very sad one. We're getting to the point of security through the night. That'll be next.
Well, that might be another role for the teams now. Just have one guy that's the muscle that just goes, and his job is at night. Just stays up all night.
Sleeps in the cab. Some of the mechanics do sleep in the cabs because they work such long hours, you know. Yeah, no, it's pretty grim.
Well, let's flip it. We've started pretty negative. Caden Groves, if he had a great win in the prologue of Slovakia. So
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. He, I think he won it by 0.3 of a second to.
That's enough.
Yep, Steimel, who I think won it last year. Yeah, but great because he's had a pretty challenging season, Caden. So it's great to see him back into winning Nick, and impressive win actually. And right at the right time of the year to come out, show a bit of form.
That's a very nice race. They call it the Okoloslovenska local language, or Slovakia. And I was a commissaire of that back in 1979 or 1980, I think.
Really?
When I was part of the UCI. It's a beautiful race, well organized, tough roads in places, although, as you know, I've just been to Slovakia, and it's a beautiful country. Nice and green, rolling hills. And I'm glad he's come back, Caden, because I think his last win was the National Criterium title way back at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he crashed at Paris-Nice. He had 2 months off. Then he came back at Hungary. Then he crashed at Dauphiné. Then he came back last month at Poland. Then he got the lemon and sauce for riding behind a team car, I think, getting a drift to make the time cut. Yeah. But he's come back and won the prologue, so it's fantastic. I think Gene Bates and Julian Dean are over there at the moment. Sounds like they got a good crew as well. I think Bewley's over there, and it's been obviously a tough year for the Bike Exchange team coming off the back of the Vuelta. Haven't had a stage win at a Grand Tour since the Giro, but wins like that, it's amazing how much that does mean to the group to get that winning feeling and the momentum.
Yeah, for both actually. Yeah, for Teniel to take one out for the girls or the women as well. Okay, yeah, you're right. That winning feeling is it's hard to copy. You've got to get it, and they'd all be pretty happy about that. I see Happy was right up there as well. He did a pretty quick time, so he wasn't that far back. So it'll be interesting to see how they go over the next couple of days.
We've got some fan comments coming in. Obviously, Wendy Superfan. Hi, guys. G'day, Wendy. Samantha wants to know if you got all the gossip. Would love to know if Bike Exchange are going to Giant Bikes, as reported in Cycling News. What's happened to the partnership with Bianchi?
I can only say what you've read as well, Samantha. That is reported. Yes. Interestingly, this year it was the first year that I can remember the Giant haven't been a part of the World Tour. So I think it's just the way with teams changing end of last year, they just end up losing out in the game, and they thought, we can't have this. They're the number one bike company in the world, and they were not in the World Tour. So they made a concerted effort. I think they made an offer too good to refuse. So Bianchi's gone the way of the horse's head in the bed. So I gather, but which is a shame because Bianchi might be one of the bikes not in the Pro Peloton next year. But I only see that from what I've read. I haven't caught up with Jerry to get the full goss yet, but that's what we're reading.
Phil, there must be so many more bike brands in today's society compared to back in the 70s and 80s. And if you don't have a World Tour team, that must have a big effect on sales.
Well, I guess it does. It's like Formula One racing, isn't it? You've got all the well-known marks, although you could never, unlike with cycling, where you're supposed to be able to buy the bike over the counter that the riders use. I don't think you buy a Formula One car over the counter that the drivers use. But all the big names of the motor industry basically are involved in car racing, and so should be the case with the bikes. It's a friendship between teams and manufacturers, simply because one can't do without the other. The teams are desperate to get those bikes and not pay for them, because a stable of bikes for a World Tour team, you've got 28 riders and they have 3 or 4 bikes each. That's the minimum allocation of bikes in a year, and double that with all the wheels and the equipment. It's a big involvement once you come on board. Sure. But for somebody like Giant, I agree. they've got to be on board. When you've got all the big bike builders like Bianchi, like Trek, Specialized, Canyon, they're all behind big teams. You know, and they've got to put the bike on display. Well, for me, they're all much of a muchness now, but you still got to have your bike under somebody's bum in front of the cameras.
That's sure. That's a good segue for you. Have you still got either of those frames in the old Green Edge days to sell on BikeExchange?
No, it's funny. No. Matter of fact, I got a message from the big boss today. One of his mates wants a bike. Get me a bike, and I am trying. But all of those bikes we had come in from overseas are gone. So it's been a challenge trying to get one for this guy. I've just about got one for him. Can't get any group sets at the moment. That's the problem. It's just a shortage of the actual group sets. But just going on about that, what you're saying is so right, Phil. You know, with Formula One, you know, why it's so important in motor racing. Okay, sure, they don't drive Formula One cars, but the technology that's developed filters down to the car we drive. And that's exactly what happens in cycling. You know, the cutting edge of these bike teams and working with pro teams at the top end, you know, they are getting advice, they're, you know, changing their equipment, they fine-tune the frames, get them as light as possible, get a bit too whippy, the riders will say, no, you got to strengthen up here and there. And that all filters down to the bike that we ride.
McLaren and Lotus have had a big involvement in cycling. We had the team, which they just pulled out of, but all their expertise from the factory, which is in south of London here, in Woking, McLaren have played quite a part. And we're very excited when they got involved. I think it was with Bahrain. It was Bahrain McLaren. And very excited. And the first time I met the people from McLaren was at the Tour Down Under in the Hilton Hotel. The guy called me across and he invited me down to see how they developed the race cars in Woking in Surrey. It was very, very interesting involvement.
I remember Baby.
You know, sorry, mate. Yeah,
Cookie was riding one of those McLaren bikes when they first come out. I think it was 2010, and they used to have a guy that would put this varnish on it. You know, they really hammered it up, and you know that varnish would reduce like 5 watts in a race, and you know, placebo effect. I mean. Just went next level. What were you going to say, John?
Back when I was, sorry, mate. I was going to say back in, I think it was 2000. Sorry, 1979 or something. I was riding for a team that was sponsored by Giovanni Savio with his galley equipment, and he took me to the wind tunnel at Fiat in Torino, and I was doing testing on the bike for the equipment and for your position for the time trial stuff back then in the wind tunnel in Torino, which was sensational. Yeah.
But one thing we need to practice on now we've got disc wheels, etc., is changing 2 wheels in about 1 second, because in the Formula One this last weekend gone, they changed 4 wheels in 1.5 seconds. How is that possible? But it was on screen.
Wow.
They just dropped the car, wheels were off, wheels on, gone. And it's unbelievable. And now with disc wheels, you see our guys. I'm just saying goodbye to Trish. Bye, Trish.
Hey, Trish.
Everybody said goodbye. She's out for the day.
You're right, Phil. It's terrible at the moment. It's taking them that long.
20 seconds, half a minute. It's unbelievable.
Matter of fact, if your team car's doing it, it's probably 10 to 15 seconds. If the Shimano car's doing it, seriously, it could be a minute. Could be a minute.
It's a horrible thought. I mean, I have a problem putting my front wheel in when I take my thing out of the vehicle, and I'm not under any pressure. But you can wrestle with those cones lining up and the disc dropping right through on the plates.
Right. And I was just saying, and I'm not having a go at Shimano, because with the neutral spares are there. They're the bike's not what they're used to. It's not set up properly, so it's a real issue. Whereas before with rim brakes, didn't make any difference. It was bang done.
Mind you, Shimano, all neutral service are on a hide into nothing. It was the pedals in the old days, and Sean Kelly.
Ask Cadell Evans about him. He's a great man.
Absolutely. And Sean Kelly was the very last pro to come off the normal toe clips and straps, which he loved, and he hated as they were then, the look pedals. And the only reason, and Sean told me this himself, the only reason he came off those clips and straps was because of the inconvenience he was causing the mechanics, who had to carry a bike on top just for him with pedals on and clips and straps. And so he came off them, and that was the end of that era. But they've always had problems like that.
Hey, fellas, we're going to have a quick word from our partners and sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to bring in Teniel Campbell, and we're going to chat about her sensational victory at the Tour of what, John?
L'Ardèche.
De L'Ardèche.
Hey, de L'Ardèche. That'll do.
Beautiful. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. BikeExchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Life is like a two-way street. It's about consideration and mutual respect. Roads are much the same. However you get around, walk, ride or drive, if we share our roads, we can all be safer. The Amy Gillett Foundation is Australia's peak cycling safety charity. Our mission is for safe cycling in Australia. Our vision is for 0 cyclist deaths. Over the last year, we've seen an enormous increase in people taking up cycling, whether it be for recreation, with the family, commuting, or even to start your own cycling career. We need to do more to make it safer for every cyclist. 20 cyclists every day are hospitalised, and 1 cyclist is killed every 10 days on Australian roads. So, the next time you jump on your bike or hop in your car, remember to practice the 4 C's. Be courteous, calm, considerate, and conscientious. Every cyclist death is preventable, and we all deserve to get home safely. Please donate to help the Amy Gillett Foundation make the roads safer for you and for me.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange, and of course some great messages there from the Amy Gillett Foundation. We're joined by our special guest, Teniel Campbell. Teniel, welcome to the Detour. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Teniel.
Obviously, congratulations on fantastic victory on stage 6 at the Tour de l'Ardèche. I think I botched that. But it was a sensational victory. You must be on cloud 9 after the result.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy. It really took a team effort, and yeah, just to see how well we cooperated as a team, how well we came back from such a misfortune, and we didn't let it get to us so much. The morale was still high and everything, and yeah, we just kept the positive vibe and everything, and to execute in the end, it was really special. And yeah, just seeing everyone happy, it really made me happy as well. So I'm really happy that I could have give back to the staff for all of the efforts they did to get us ready and to keep pedaling.
Yeah, Teniel, hi, it's John here. Thanks heaps for coming on. Now, before we go to that drama you're alluding to with the stolen bikes, which we just mentioned before, it was actually, as you mentioned, a really good team effort, because you'd missed the break, and then the guys really put the hammer down and on that last climb got you close enough to be able to jump across. So just tell us about how that all worked out.
Yeah, originally we missed the break because the peloton split in the descent. So I had to fall back for Annie because, yeah, it was really technical and a bit risky because it was full on gravel in the descent, and it really exploded. So I fell back, brought Annie and the others back, and then the attack started going again. So we started chasing again, and then eventually the brake went and the entire road was blocked, so I couldn't pass. And the only option was to have like the entire team just help me to recover for 7K. And then Alejandro found a climb 700 meters long, and he said, "You have to go all in here and don't look back." So
Wow.
the girls really buried themselves until that moment. I attacked. I didn't look back. It really hurt. And I made the connection really quick. They said by the time they were on top of the climb, I was already to the brake, and they were like, so it was really painful, but I'm happy to have their trust and belief and that extra drive to give me and help me understand that I can also and believe that I can do it. And I'm happy to have done it.
Phil?
Teniel, many congratulations, and it was your first ever win as a professional, right?
No, it's my first win with BikeExchange. I won already in Europe.
Okay, but tell me about the town you were born in. I think Hard Bargain. That's a very strange name for a town.
Yeah, I was born in the real area of Hard Bargain, Williamville. It's like countryside, and my entire family grew up there. My aunts, uncles, cousins, we all grew up in that one house that belonged to my grandparents. So it was really an exciting childhood for me. Always outdoors and playing with my neighbors and stuff. So
Well, what steered you towards cycling? How did you get involved?
Well, it was basically me just following my brother Teniel Campbell's footsteps. I mean, my father was also a cyclist, but he never arrived to the highest level of the sport. So being the younger sibling, you always just kind of somehow falter into what your older sibling is doing. So that's how me and the bike started. But my brother and I really got involved because like my mom is also an athlete, but not a cyclist. She plays netball, track and field, so forth.
Oh.
So we were with her in the park watching her play netball, and there was a cycling track nearby. And we were a bit bored, so we just snuck over to the cycling track, and we started to talk to the cycling coach there, deceased Noel Luces, and we asked him if we can come and ride a bike and stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, just get consent from your mom. We have the equipment here for you guys. You just need to bring yourself." And
wow.
That started off
and that's history. Now, how did you draw the attention of BikeExchange to sign you up?
I believe in 2020, when the season restarted again in Spain. And I mean, that year I only got 2 solid results. Earlier on in the classics, I was third in Valencia in Spain and 5th in Hageland. And I don't know if it was that or also my former coach, who was at the time at the World Cycling Center and now sport director of BikeExchange, Alejandro. I don't know if he also had a part to play in it. But what I was told was because of my ability to work selflessly. And that's what they saw. It's not only the fact that you're winning, is how you contribute to the team as well is what they look for, because you have to like mesh with the team. You have to have team spirit, team cohesion, and be selfless, because you can't be greedy and want everything for yourself. It takes a team effort, and so I guess I portrayed all of those qualities, and
And the upcoming World Championships, will you ride again, the World Championships?
Yeah, I'm doing the road race, and I'm looking forward to it. See what happens in Flanders. Is a course suited for me, and I think I will have an opportunity, and when it presents itself, I'll just take it. I'll be the sole participant for Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow.
So I also know I have to ride smartly, and also pray to God that I don't have a mechanical or anything, because I don't have any teammates to bring me back. So I'll definitely have to burn matches if something happens. But yeah, it's just to play it safe. I mean, play it smart, play it a bit tactical as well, and just take the opportunity when it presents itself.
Well, I'd be sleeping with your bike in your room. Just don't take any risks. Don't leave them in any of the cars. That's for sure. But take us through like stage 5, because obviously I worked a bit with Nico back in the day, your team mechanic, and he's a real character, hard worker. But I mean, when did you first find out, hang on, the bikes have been nicked here?
I woke up actually that morning feeling a bit under the weather, so I messaged Doc, and he was like, "Oh, well, the bike's are actually gone." So I'm like, "Huh?" I thought it was a joke or something, because I was just feeling a bit under the weather. And then I went outside, and I'm like, "What's happening?" And we were just like all shocked, and we never panicked or anything, but we were just really startled and shocked of what was really happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the staff kept everything under control. They kept us calm, and they automatically just started looking for solutions, and they found solutions, and it wasn't any panic or anything. It was probably overwhelming, yes, but we just made the best out of it, and the goal was just to survive the day, and tomorrow is another day.
I saw a great photo of the team bus with all the bikes lined up out front, and one of all different brands of bikes, and it was just a very funny shot, but a beautiful shot in that, it just shows what a family cycling is. You might be rivals on the road, and some of the sports directors might yell at each other here and there, but something like this happens, and they all, jumped in and offered bikes and that to help get you through, which is a beautiful story.
Yeah, we are really grateful that everyone pitched in, and if that didn't happen, we would have had to pull out of the tour. So once again, thank you to everyone who supported us during that really fortunate situation. And we are really grateful for all the help, and thank you.
How have you found the team this year? Because at the start of the year, I think you all had a training camp down at Valencia where it was not just the women's team, the men's team were there as well, and it gave you a chance to sort of meet everyone under the Bike Exchange banner. How have you found this season?
Yeah, the season has been really fun. I learned a lot from the girls, and I was able to, develop some of my characteristics through it. Like, for example, I didn't really understood the technique of the cobbles, and for example, Grace or Roy, they described how to actually pedal on it and to get the best out of it. And then I actually realized, I can actually do this, and I'm actually pretty good on the cobbles. And then also Jess, she taught me how to ride in crosswinds, because in Belgium the wind is insane, and it's just like always something to learn here. And I was really thankful for that, because not everyone shares their knowledge. So I'm really happy that my teammates share their knowledge with me, and it also goes with the men's team as well. Like when we were in Belgium, the men were also staying with us at the same place. So it was also nice to talk to Jack and a few others, and it was really nice.
What was the best bit of advice you think you got from all of those conversations?
The best advice.
Obviously, some great advice from Jack and the boys. No, that's all good. But I mean, you've given examples already, like the fact that even when you had that adversity, the fact that everyone stayed calm and there is chemistry in the team, but also in your situation, you obviously do a lot of work for your teammates. It must feel good that when you get that opportunity as well to have a culture that says, okay, you do a lot of work, but there are going to be times where we're going to go for you.
Yeah, we also have like a lot of opportunistic roles, and yeah, that also gives us the confidence. Well, help us to gain confidence and belief in our capabilities and as well, and yeah, it enables us to appreciate that the team also backs us in achieving goals, and that's also something special with the team because not on every team it's like that. So yeah, and everyone is training hard. Everyone is making sacrifices. So to be given opportunities this time, I think, is also good for the morale and it's good for your feelings. To be considered. So yeah.
You were saying, Teniel, you're getting the hang of the cobbles. So will you be riding in Paris-Roubaix?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, sensational.
Are you looking forward to it?
Exciting.
I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say that I'm not nervous. I'm extremely nervous. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it will be an epic race, and yeah, it will really be interesting. It's pretty demanding. I did the recon, and it's really demanding. Yes, physically, but also mentally, because it's just cobbles back to back to back, and yeah, it will be really fun.
Well, one guy you need to have a conversation with is obviously Matthew Heyman, who's his story is legendary. Yeah, just keep riding. But I mean, there's so many fiddly little tips that they give you when it's riding on cobbles around strapping wrists and your hands and your palms and some. Is there any little tricks that you have to do?
We use kinesio tape for the recon, so I'll definitely use it for the race because I didn't get blisters. And also my aero bars, I don't get blisters with them because my hands hold on to it really well because it's really big, So I guess that's a little advantage for me. So yeah, it's just having good technique and everything else and some luck because it's going to be chaotic out there. You never know what can happen. You don't want to be caught up behind someone who is not so good in cobbles and you have to keep passing them because that's a lot of energy to be wasted. And it will pretty much be a race to the first sector. So yeah. It's going to be epic.
It'll be fantastic. We were just before you came on air, Teniel, we were talking about the challenges with the disc wheels and how much longer it takes for a wheel change, especially if you've got to get neutral. And of all the races, Paris-Roubaix is the biggest nightmare because there are so many punctures and flats and crashes. Anyway, fingers crossed.
I guess you'll use 28C. Tires, I would think, big fat tires. Do you know what tires they're putting on, Teniel?
Nope. I'm just trusting the mechanic. I mean, we had when we did the recon, we had options, and we also gave our feedback because we did material testings. So it's just gonna be, the final choice on probably the day before. And just go with that.
Brilliant. Where are you right now, Teniel?
Pardon? Where are you? I'm currently in Girona, Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you find Girona? I lived there for 5 years back in the day, and all I could say is "Dos cerveza, por favor, muchas gracias."
That's a lot better than me and my Spanish.
Did you like Girona? Are you settled in?
Yeah, it's a nice town. I haven't officially settled in a lot this year because I've been on the go so much. But yeah, I'll be here again next year, and I'm keeping this apartment. So yeah, it should be more relaxed and more homey for the next season.
I wanted to ask Teniel, because we've sort of glossed over a part of it. Phil's talked about your younger days in Trinidad. But how did you get from being a young cyclist in Trinidad to Europe? How did that all come about?
Well, I actually got my golden ticket in the Elite Caribbean Championships in Martinique. That's actually an interesting story behind it because, It had to be funded from my CEO / manager at the time, Mr. Desmond Roberts, when I used to ride for PSL Cycling Club, because there were doubters in my federation who didn't believe I was capable. It was like sort of a waste of investment in sending me there for them because I couldn't climb. But I went there. Mr. Desmond funded it. We were literally packing bikes like midnight and having to travel like 6 a.m. the other morning. And I went to Martinique. I won double goal, and the UCI president David Lafayette was there. And Mr. Desmond went to speak with him. He was like, "Listen, she's beyond the Caribbean right now, and she needs like another challenge." And that's how the conversation started. And next thing you know, that same year later on, I think was in October, I got an invitation for a full scholarship in Egel, Switzerland, the World Cycling Center. And that's where my journey like really blossomed, and it continued developing tremendously. And now I'm here on a world tour with Team BikeExchange.
How tough was that transition? I was reading an article where those first couple of weeks when you went over to Europe, obviously the weather, but missing family and friends, that must have been tough in those early days.
Yeah, it was really brutal. Like that morning in Trinidad was around 25 degrees. And I arrived in London, and it was like some crazy -10 or something. And I can see all the steam evaporating from my mouth. And I was like, okay. And then you arrive in Egel now, and you have to like use the city bikes to go from where we are staying to the center. And it's like freezing cold. Like the first 2 weeks were the hardest because I had a puncture. And I was like, no way, this is happening. And then the one that broke me was when my chain got busted, and I had to walk home in the snow. And I was like, what did I get myself into? So it was like incredible scenes. I was like, I called home crying. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's for me. And it took me a while to adjust. It was a lot of adjusting that needed to be made. And I'm happy that I stick through it. I overcame that hurdle, and the momentum just flowed after that. So I'm really happy that I never gave up.
There's no athlete that gets to the level that you're at without a really tough, strong mindset. Have you always been driven from a young age? And do you think that is one of the keys that has got to where you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even in school, I was like that. I had to balance academics and athletics. So I think that developed a lot of discipline from a young age, because I mean, back then it was waking up around 5 or 4:30 a.m. to go to the gym, and then you have to reach the school around 8 a.m. And I was like really blessed and fortunate to have so much genuine people along my path, because my gym instructors, Miss Carr and Miss Junie, they were like my parents. So after gym, they would pack me like snack box or stuff like this to ensure I have food always, and then send me off to school. And even if I arrive at school late, my principal and teachers, they were really lenient with me because I was also a good student, and I never slept in class except for English, sorry. But I always give my projects and work on time. So they if I arrived sometimes late, they were okay with it. So I was really fortunate. So but definitely that having that balance at a young age, and it really made me disciplined, and it transcended into Europe.
Have you ever been back there to speak to them now that you've become a European cycling star? Have you ever spoken to them, and have they ever been proud of what you've achieved or things like that?
Oh yeah, everyone back home is tremendously proud of me. My school, high school, they high school. They actually want me to come and talk to the kids. For the longest while. I'm kind of nervous, but yeah, I mean, I don't
you'll be great.
What I will
You'll
say.
be great.
I mean, yeah, they always use me as an example because, you know, not much athletes, they are also successful in the academics region back home. So, you know, they're really trying to break that stigma that to be an athlete, you don't need to also have a proper education. So, yeah, I have to go back and do some talking and speech and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it though, but a bit shy.
All you have to do, Teniel, all you have to do is talk to the kids like you've just spoken to us. All you have to do.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah.
What I'm interested in, what's your passion then outside of cycling with the academic side of things? What areas really excite you?
Well, I always love sports. My family is really sport oriented. So anything with regards to sports, I would have branched off into. Before like really thinking about it too much, I always wanted to be like a sports doctor because I always wanted to help my country grow and develop. So I always wanted to find a way of development and having like an institute instead of having everyone to go abroad. So yeah, and yeah, for the moment now, my mind is more like having a development institution for sports. I would really like to start first with cycling because I can see that we have so much talent back home, but we just don't have the proper infrastructure. We don't have like the programs in place. And I would really like to help change that. And yeah, it's really a mission and a really big goal of mine to create something and to create a smoother pathway to helping young kids live this dream that I am always also living, that they want to as well. And yeah, so it's a really strong desire in my heart, and really, I'm not going to say hope, but I know I will do it. And it's just figure things out and to find a means and a way of starting.
Is one of the passions as well is like you shared your story before about there were some people that said, you know, you're not going to make it. There's some kids that would listen to that and that's it, dreams ended. Are you trying to sort of reverse that? Yeah,
I was never the type of person to listen to people.
That's good.
Yeah, I kind of like to, I have to learn the hard way as well. Like I have to live through the moment and experience it. So either way, I probably won't listen to you. So yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be saying that, but
no, that's why you are successful. Because if you had to listen to the naysayers, you wouldn't be where you are now. So,
but I was going to say, because Trinidad and Tobago have got a fantastic history of sport. I many years ago, long before you were born, I competed at the Commonwealth Games. I remember, not about me, mate. Trinidad and Tobago had a really strong athletics team, especially you were very, very good in athletics. But you also had a couple of good cyclists back then. This is 1970. I'm talking back. But so you've always had a very strong sport culture in Trinidad.
Yeah, we have lots of good sprinters. Like, it's just like natural for us to be able to sprint really well. I mean, currently we have the world record holder, Nicholas Paul. He's only 22 years old. He was 8th at the Olympics in the sprint, I believe. And then Kwesi was also 7th. I think. I can be wrong. Sorry, I'm probably mixing up the results. Sorry, guys. Yeah. But yeah, the point is they're competing amongst the best in the world. And we also had Jacine Phillip in 2012. He got 4th in the sprints. So we have really a long line of history in the sprint discipline of cycling. And it was just me opting out of that pathway and wanting to go the endurance way. Because I also had the option of being a sprinter. I mean, I would be a really gigantic sprinter. I mean, I'm really tall, so you can imagine how how funny that would have possibly been. But yeah, I was also really explosive, so I could have also chosen that path. But I was given a choice. It's like, you either want to be a sprinter or you want to do endurance. You have to pick one, because in Europe, it's impossible. It's not like here back home. So yeah, I just opted for something out of the norm, and to, help create more opportunities and open-mindedness, that we can also be more competitive in endurance and not only the sprint events. So I'm happy that I'm able to showcase that, and I hope I can continue pushing back home for more endurance athletes to go this way as well, and not only choose sprints.
We've got a comment from Buster Thomas. He says, Teniel, you're an impressive young person. I know that with your attitude, you will succeed in life. Power on. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
I just remembered the name of the guy who competed at the Commonwealth Games was there. It was Roger Gibbon. And
Roger Gibbon.
He was a great cyclist, and I think he ran third in the world sprint title and the kilo, maybe the same year, I think. Yeah. There you go.
Phil, we've got to let you go, mate. You got things to do, people to see.
Yeah, but can I just say, Teniel, it's been a pleasure listening to you. I must say, I'm looking forward. I know all about you now. So when I commentate on Paris-Roubaix, you better get in the breakaway so I can tell all the stories that I've heard here today on television.
Exactly.
I look forward.
I'll make it my goal and mission.
Now, before you go, Phil, I know that Sunday is the first of your African peloton rides.
Yep.
So you could tell our viewers and listeners about that one. Yep.
Well, it's that's the address, karieka.co.za/peloton. It's Phil's South African Safari Peloton. It's the first ride of 4. It might even be 5 where we're going. We have nearly 200 people expected to join us now, but come on board, everyone. Enjoy a little trip around the Karieka Game Reserve. All of the money donated is going to our fund to help the anti-poaching of the rhinos in South Africa. And we're going to speak to the vet that brought this young lady on the right back to life, because that is Tandy. The poachers took her down. She was found in a pool of blood with a horn gone, her face hacked to pieces. The vet, Will Foles, who we'll speak to on Sunday, has brought her back to life, literally. And since then, she's had 3 calves, and that one of the calves has now had a baby as well. So she's a remarkable animal. She's grandma, and she lives in the wild on this game reserve. I say in the wild because nobody gets involved. She wanders around at her own will. And we're going to ride through the estate.
What time, Phil? What time?
It's 5 o'clock Eastern time, Australia. It's in Europe. It will be 9 o'clock in the morning, and in the UK, 7 o'clock. I'm afraid it's midnight on the Pacific coast of the USA, and 3 o'clock in the morning on the eastern coast, I think. So it's a bit late for you guys. But what we've done over the 4 rides. The next weekend will be favourable to our American supporters and not so sociable to the Australian ones. But do join us, and you can come on board. Just follow the link and do what it says, and I'll look forward to seeing you. You don't have to have a smart trainer. I'll be on mine. John won't be on his, but that's by the by. We're just going to all enjoy the show. It lasts about an hour.
Good stuff, mate.
There you go. Looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Teniel, absolutely fabulous. Sorry I've got to rush away. But you have a great season. Continuance. Have a great World Championships, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, Phil.
Ciao, boys.
See you, mate. That's Phil Liggett, voice of cycling.
Cut him off. You cut him off before he even finished, mate.
He's already. Hang on. We've lost Teniel now. Teniel's gone as well. I didn't cut her off. I didn't touch anything.
No. She probably thought it was over. Yeah. We didn't get to say goodbye.
No, we were just letting Phil go. I wanted to ask her what races she wanted to win.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. This is a bazzer, Jonesy. Absolute bazzer. Will Wizard said, good luck in the Roubaix. Teniel is going to be a brutal race with 3 Ronda at the start town, Deneen, 15 corners and straight to the first of the 17 cobble sections. I don't think we want to put the fear into a wheel wizard. I think she'll get the parkour and the race route. But
I think she knows. I think she knows. Yeah.
But oh no, she's back again.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Oh no!
I only heard you. I was like, oh, don't think I was supposed to do that.
No. We gave Phil the lemonade and sauce, but not you. We want you to stay on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's all right. We just said the wheel wizard just went through how tough Roubaix is going to be, but you've got the race book, you've done the recon, so you know what you're in for. But what I wanted to ask you is there any race that you really want to win in your career?
Yeah, definitely. Well, apart from the big Olympics and the World Championships, I definitely want to do Strade Bianchi and also Tour of Flanders. Like I did Tour of Flanders this year, and I just fell in love with the parcours and also Strade Bianchi. Yeah, I lost some teeth there, so I need to go pick it back up and also pick up the trophy. So that would be amazing.
What did you say? You lost some teeth there?
Yeah, I overcooked one corner in 2020, and I lost my front teeth.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah, I had to get a root canal and everything. So yeah.
I've done a wonderful job. They look fantastic, Dale. But gee, and so just on one of those tight descents, was it on the dirt?
It was actually not on the dirt. We just came off one sector, and I was trying to get back, and we were a group with about 5 riders, but I knew I was good at descending, so I took the inside really tight, and apparently there was like a loose rock or something, and I just slid, and so I lost the balance with my front wheel, and I just hit my face on the bar, and that was it. I mean, I was lucky that it didn't happen with the tarmac, because then my whole face would be damaged. But I remember like crashing, and I just started running, holding my face like this. I was like, why do I feel like air is going through my mouth?
Oh, no.
Like, oh shit, I lost my teeth. Yeah, I was really panicking and everything, because I really love my teeth and my smile, so I was like really crying. I was in shambles.
Yeah.
Well, you've come back. That's a great story to come back from something like that, because that
for a while I was really scared with descending. I couldn't descend. I remember after that the other race was La Course, and I got dropped in the descent. It was insane. Usually I make up spots in the descent, but I got dropped.
Well, you would have been almost tempted to get a mouth guard after that for the races, like the footy players.
Yeah.
My
family actually wants me to get one. So
now with the whole COVID situation, are you going to get a chance to at the end of the season head back home and see all family and friends?
Yeah, I definitely want to do my off season back home in Trinidad for at least 2 months. I think it would be a good reset for me, because I wouldn't want to go home and to have to change that time zone again like I did this year, because I did it after the Olympics. But when I went home, all I did was slept, because the time zone and everything, it was just like all the tiredness just came together. So I didn't really do anything. So yeah, I'll take advantage of that situation when I go home this time for the off season.
How's the COVID situation in Trinidad?
It's actually improved a lot. We're almost close to being fully vaccinated citizens. We have all the different vaccines available at home, and I believe around 70% of the nation should be vaccinated. And you don't really hear so much deaths or anything happening, so it's really good. And now with the schools, they are giving all the secondary school children the Pfizer vaccines. So yeah, it's provided for everyone. You just need to go and get it. It's your choice to get it or not.
Yep.
Hey, Teniel, we usually wrap up chats with what is the key lesson from your journey if you were to give advice to a young budding cyclist or someone out there that, you know, is looking for a bit of inspiration? What sort of tips can you pass on for people to, you know, particularly get through tough moments of their lives or their careers and to keep moving forward?
I would say to never give up in what you believe in, and never let anyone take away that grand idea or your belief and what you want to achieve, because they don't know your capabilities. You don't even know your capabilities. You just have to surround yourself with people who are uplifting, because you're definitely going to need them at times. And yeah, just keep moving along, because there will be challenges, there will be obstacles to overcome. And yeah, once you have the right people around you, and once you keep believing in yourself, you will achieve it.
Yeah, fantastic. That is sensational.
Absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Samantha summed it up. What a delightful young lady. All the best, Teniel. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show, Teniel. It's been a great insight into your journey, and you're an absolute superstar on and off the bike, and we wish you all the best for the Worlds, and we'll be cheering you on at Roubaix as well. It's going to be very, very exciting.
Thank you. Yeah.
No worries,
Thanks,
Teniel. Thanks for being on the detour.
Bye.
You.
See ya.
Bye. See ya.
What an impressive superstar Teniel is.
Lovely young lady.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, one thing I did want to mention, and Samantha jumped the gun. She said Lefevere is at it again, John. This time having to go at Cav. No Tour de France for him riding for De Koenig Quick-Step. I mean, geez, listen to these comments. He said he loves the Belgian press. That's when he really gets the wumbled out.
Well, because he writes a very popular column in the
Well, I can see why it's popular.
Yeah,
he says, he goes, I respect Mark Cavendish. We saved his skin. We gave him all the tools. He took the challenge and he did it. And now it begins. Now he thinks it's time to cash in again. He doesn't hold back. I'll give him that.
But you know what? I have no problem with what he's saying about the Cav thing, because it's spot on. And he's saying, in negotiating, you know, he's saying, now it's time to cash in, as he should, he's saying. Whether we can come to the right figure. He's got a bit elevated, blah, blah, blah. But that's fine. It's just the Sam Bennett stuff. But strangely, he's picked Sam Bennett to ride in the Championship of Flanders, which is coming up very soon, which surprised me, because the way it was talking, there was no way he was going to. So whether he has to do that with the contract, I don't know. But so
I think
that'll be very, very interesting one with him lining up there, because he's been at it again with poor old Sam, and that's been the ugly part. That's been Lefevere at his worst, because he's always been, frothing
fiery,
off the mouth, stuff, fiery, but no, I had no problems with the Cav stuff. And look, I wouldn't, if I was running that team, I probably wouldn't be putting Cav into the Tour de France next year, because even though he won the 4 stages and was brilliant this year, now that Floria, what's his name? Our Italian, Dutch with the Italian name, Fabio Jacobsen. He was so good in Vuelta, and there's no doubt that he'll be, the main sprinter for the next year. Yeah. So that's the way it's going to go. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Gav go somewhere else, to some team who would, be excited to have him at the Tour de France. Someone like Cofidis, and he could still win a stage, no doubt about that.
But you got to ask, your team's willing to pay the market value, because he's going to be coming in hot, green jersey, 4 stages, but they're going to go, yeah, but you also had a good lead out train. You also had all these other things working for you.
And that's what's going to be on his mind. But I don't know that he'd want to go there, back to the Wolf Pack, if he's not riding the Tour, and I don't think he will be. So I think that'll be.
He wants that record bad. He wants that record, and fair enough. You get that close, you go for it. Now, Iffy, time to get the viewers fired up for tomorrow night's episode. It's going to be an absolute belter. Today's was sensational, but tomorrow's
a belter. Yeah, well, it is. So we're going to be talking about the ultimate Aussie World Tour team, if we had carte blanche, unlimited budget, and every rider available, of course, some of them are signed up for years. So for all of the Aussies on the World Tour teams, all the ones about to be that we think are good enough. So we've got Stewie O'Grady, Matty Wilson, former DS with Team BikeExchange, and Scotty McGrory,
Olympic gold medalist, and bronze medalist.
Yeah, well, Stewie's Olympic gold medalist at Paris-Roubaix, and whatever. So you want to go through all of those, okay? And then only me, 4-time Australian road champion, but bronze medalist, Com Games doesn't mean much. And how many?
Where is that bronze medal, John? Where is that bronze medal?
Somewhere under a restaurant in Melbourne.
Yeah. What about me? You're trying to say because I'm not a former rider?
No, you're not a former rider. But
yeah, that's right.
It wasn't a sledge. I was going to say your expertise. You've been working at the top level of pro cycling, as you did.
Well, I'm not going to put my hat in the mix. I'm not going to put my hat in the mix because you guys are the experts. I'm just going to be like the referee in the middle. I'm going to facilitate the fight for spots. I'll be like the debate chair. So I wanted to get fiery.
Better off to keep your hat on your head because the light's shining into my eyes. But anyway, it's another story.
You love it, mate. Will, listen, too many races at the moment. Patrick doesn't have enough riders. That's why Ben is starting in West Flanders. Total team, 30 riders or just the race team? So
no, total team. So total team of, I think it's 28 or 29, whatever. And we're going to talk about what would be the ultimate team for the Tour de France, for the Giro, for the Vuelta, for the Classics. Get involved too. Like if you reckon that the guys are full of crap, I mean, call them out. Call them out because that's what we do on the detour. We just throw jabs left, right, and centre. But what time's that going to be, Johnny? 6:30 p.m. Australian Standard Time. Yep.
So we'll be on live. So get involved with the debate. Tell your mates and throw your hat in the ring. And also get behind the show, youtube.com/Detour Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the people that have clicked the subscribe button. We appreciate Katie, who's doing all the work on social media with the Amy Gillett Foundation. As we said, that their ride has been cancelled for this year, but they're still doing a lot of things. And get involved with it, amygillett.org.au. Anything else we want to plug before we go, Johnny?
No, I think we're pretty good. Looking forward to the World Championship starting. We'll probably touch on that tomorrow. And I think I've got a feeling, fingers crossed, that Rowan Dennis, I reckon he'll be back. Be world champion again in the time trial.
Yep. Before we go, well done, John, selling all those bikes on BikeExchange.com. Because .com.au, sorry, because I'm sure you got a lick of the ice cream, and no wonder you put an extension on your pad there at Nagambie, mate.
I didn't get a lick of the ice cream, actually, Dan. I did it out of my love for the Bike Exchange team. I was just what I do, just helping out. And really, they did all the hard work. Bike Exchange have done a great job, and a lot of bikes, and all the bits and pieces are gone as well. So fantastic.
Yep. All right, and if you need a bike, obviously go to bikeexchange.com.au. That's it for the show tonight, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6:30 for the grand debate around the ultimate Aussie team. See you then.
This is the winning